Everybody put 3 fingers in the air.
How many times a day do you pick up your phone and automatically open Instagram or TikTok?
The sky's falling, the wind is calling, stand for something or die in the morning.
For me, it was happening way more than I'd like to admit.
Section 80, high power.
So I decided to set up my home screen in a way that would try and prevent that from happening. But here's the thing, as much as I like some of the ideas that I saw online, they didn't really work for me exactly. I'm not a full-time YouTuber, and I have a job that requires me to have my notifications on. I also have people in my life that need to be able to get a hold of me at a moment's notice. So as much as I think I would like to have only 2 apps on my home screen and nothing else and all my notifications off, that's not really realistic for me. So I decided to start from scratch and make a home screen that works for me. And it needed to meet 3 distinct requirements. Number 1, it needed to be free of distractions. Number 2, I needed to be able to get notifications from the apps that I consider priority. And last but not least, number 3, for lack of a better term, it needed to look cool, because why not? So let's jump right in and talk about my lock screen setup first. So starting up top, just like everybody else, the first thing you'll notice is that I've got the date and time, but I've made the time clock huge, and that's for a specific reason, and it ties back to my first requirement. This needs to be free of distractions. So now I can check the time without even grabbing my phone. If I did have to grab my phone to check the time, then I would be on Instagram Reels in no time because I have absolutely no self-control. So now down at the bottom, I've got a calendar widget for TickTick, which is my to-do app of choice. And on the right side, I've got a little weather widget for Mercury, which is the weather app that I use. And I'll talk about why I use Mercury in a little bit, because there is a very specific reason as to why. And then last but not least, the little buttons at the bottom, I've got the default flashlight, and then I changed the one on the right to turn on the climate for my car. This used to be the camera, but since you can just swipe right to open the camera, it made more sense to change that to something that might be a little bit more useful. So that's pretty much it for my lock screen. Free of distractions, I don't have to grab my phone if I need basic info like checking the date, checking the time, or checking the weather. So next is the home screen. And this is kind of like the main hub for my life. Kind of sad, maybe, but anyways. So starting up top, I've got an expanded widget for TickTick, which is my to-do list app. And what you'll notice is on the left side is a full month calendar, and on the right side is all the tasks that I've added that I need to do today. And look, I know it sounds crazy to have drive to work or shower on a to-do list app, but for me, just visually seeing how my time is laid out throughout the day lets me easily slot in things that I really want to get done, like work on a YouTube video, go to the gym, take the dogs out. Now that I know exactly how my time is lining up, I can just slot those things in. So instead of just saying, I'm going to work on my YouTube video at some point today and then never really getting to it, I have certain blocks of time that I know I'm supposed to be doing certain things. So yeah, it might seem a little bit crazy, but it works for me, so I'm going to keep going with it. And then on the left side here, I've got a widget for Mercury, another weather widget for my app. And this ties back to that third requirement. Yes, that's the only reason I have Mercury as my weather app, is because this widget looks cool and it just adds a little pop of color to my home screen. That's it. It's simple, cool, and it just adds a pop of color. And then down at the bottom left, I've got a little widget for Claude, which is the AI that I'm currently using. I like to rotate between different AI models, but right now I'm just using Claude. Next, on the right side, you'll notice I have my app grid. And the one thing you notice about this is that I have no social media apps on here. I guess you can consider YouTube a social media app, but the things I watch on YouTube really do inspire me to create more. So that's something that I allow. Starting up top, I've got Notion. That's where I use to script all my YouTube videos, all my YouTube ideas. So that's first for a reason. And then I've got the Aura Ring app. So that's pretty much like a health tracker. It tracks everything from my sleep, my heart rate, all that kind of stuff. So that's next right there. And then I've got a couple default apps, the Photos app and Gmail. Gmail is something that I've used forever. I do want to try a new email app. So if you guys have any recommendations, leave them in the comments below. And then it's the app for my car, the Tesla app. That lets me control every function about my car. And then I recently switched to Apple Music from Spotify because Spotify raised their price again, so I'm giving Apple Music a try. And then we already talked about YouTube, and then the camera app because I love to take photos, so having it right there makes it easy. I guess you could use the camera control on this side, but that kind of sucks, so I don't use it. And then next is the dock. Pretty simple. I've got the phone, Arc browser, and messages. I'm using Arc browser. The experience on mobile is pretty good. I don't think it syncs that easily across mobile and desktop, but it's pretty good on mobile, so I'm sticking with it for now. And then the next thing you'll notice is that the messages, I have my notification badges on. Same thing with my phone, same thing with my email. This ties into my second point. So like I mentioned, I don't have any social media apps on my home screen, but it's not really about where those apps live. It's more about the notifications for those apps. I have all notifications off for Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all those social media apps, because even if you don't have them on your home screen, if you get a notification because someone sent you something on Instagram, you're gonna wanna click it. And then you'll click it and you'll end up doom scrolling for way longer than you should have, which is what happens to me a lot. So that's why I've turned off all those notifications. But I still have notifications on for the apps that I consider priorities. So messages, my phone, my email, things where if people need to get a hold of me for something important, they're able to get a hold of me. And I'm not completely off the grid. So next is the second page. Now, what's on this page isn't really as important as actually just having the page. I will talk about what's on here in a minute, but the reason for the second page is because my social media apps live just in the app library. And what happens is I'll grab my phone and then automatically my thumb will start swiping to get to Instagram. This second page just gives my brain a second to just catch up with my thumb and say, hey, do I really want to be going to Instagram right now? So I filled up this page with things that inspire me and things that I don't mind spending my time on. Up top, I've got a widget for Milanote, which is where I store any like cinematography shots or YouTube video stuff that I want to be able to like recreate. And then I've got Apple Podcasts, Goodreads, TickTick, another place for my to-do list app, Duolingo because I'm trying to learn Italian. And then on the bottom left, I've got YouTube Planner. This is a widget for Notion. This takes me directly into my YouTube Planner, which is where I store all my YouTube ideas, scripts, etc. And then on the bottom right, again, a streak counter for Duolingo because I actually don't mind like spending some time on there and trying to learn a different language. And look, I'm not trying to be one of those people that harp on you and say, don't be on social media, don't be on social media. I'm on social media a lot, but I want to be on social media when I want to be, not when my phone tells me to be. If I get home from work and I've had a long day and I just want to chill on the couch and scroll through reels, I'm more than happy to do that. But what I don't want to do is when I'm supposed to be working on a YouTube video or taking the dogs out or going to the gym and I get a notification for Instagram, I click on it and spend way more time scrolling through reels than I should be. So does this actually work? Does this home screen setup actually make me less distracted? And does it meet those 3 requirements I mentioned earlier? I would say yes. Look, I'm still human. I'll grab my phone and I'll end up on reels and I'll be scrolling for way longer than I should have. But what I will say is that the amount of times that happens has gone way down. Now that I have no notifications for those apps and I have none of them on my home screen and I have a second page where I don't mind spending a little more time, I will say that the amount of distractions that I've had has gone down. Number 2, I still have all notifications on for messages, phone, email, things where if people need to get a hold of me, they can get a hold of me. And then last but not least, does it look cool? I'll let you guys be the judge of that, but I think it looks pretty cool. See ya.
High power.